Hey, what's up, YouTube? Welcome to Play It Painted Live. Time for another stream. I know it's late at night. This is what we do, man. Babies don't fall asleep the time they're supposed to. And so we got to start this whenever we can start it. All right, so right now I am trying to figure out why my other computer is not acting right. It's just not acting right. Come on, man. Come on. And I also hear a baby crying. So this could be bad. We're already off to a bad start. Let's see. Let us see what we can see. Why is it? Man, I'm just going to shut it. I'm going to close the other browser there. And we're going to go over what I'm painting here in a second, if I can ever get my other computer to do a thing. We're going to do a thing. Okay, here we go. Here we go. In case you're wondering what miniature that is in front of you, that is Slipknot from Suicide Squad. That is what we are going to be painting tonight. If you watched my July painting challenge day 6 video, this is a project I started for this weekend. My stream is on the OK status. So let's see what we get here. And then another cool thing I'll point out actually is that I changed my camera setup once again. So I think we're actually going to get a better actual working view of me and the videos here. So I changed our paper. Here's Slipknot. I put together the rest of the Suicide Squad stuff, and now it's a matter of having these ready for me to color block and paint and all that good stuff. So one of the first things I'm going to need to do here is I'm going to put a little poster tack on this bad boy. If you're just joining the feed, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting and what you should be painting. Tonight's topic, Suicide Squad, the 2-player box set, Fortnite miniatures, Batman miniatures game, my current obsession. And you know, when it's my current obsession, I try to make it your current obsession, because I can't be alone in this, people. Like if I have this, I need people to share the sickness with, you know. There's Killer Croc. Okay, so what I'm working on right now is color blocking. Okay, so we're going to be switching a lot between these miniatures. Just fair warning. And that's going to totally dry out if I don't put the lid on that. See if I can actually stand up, move around the room while I have a headset on. And the short answer is yes. Cool. Okay. So let's get to the color blocking. It looks like so far I only put a couple of colors down, kind of a dark blue-gray. Working on Eyeball Man here. So he has a little bit of orange on him. But I got other colors to do. Like, for example, I got to do the undertone white here for Mr. Grin White, right? Because there's Mr. Grin Black, and Mr. Grin Black has this color on him. So he's, I mean, those guys are going to paint up stupidly fast. All right, and I'm going to clean up my needle. So tonight we're gonna do all of the color blocking, and then we're just gonna kind of see how many miniatures, if any, we finish. I think we will actually finish a few tonight, and also depends on like how late I decide that I'm staying up, because this might be a long feed, it might be a very short feed. Like I mentioned, my 2 babies are not asleep. And I don't leaving mom up there. And she's, you know, she's trying to cover 2-on-1. Not fair. Those aren't good odds, even for as good a mom as my wife is. Okay, so I guess right now we're gonna block. I'm just gonna block the undertone blue for Mr. Grin white, and it's gonna be that like hell blau color. Ooh. You can tell your airbrush isn't. It's got a little. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a clog. So I'm gonna clear. You got to clear those clogs before you start, like before you really get into it, because they get really annoying when you start to deal with them. I think it's here on the cap. There's a little here on the ferrule. It's just gunk, you know. And this airbrush is actually right at about the point where I normally replace them. So I'm going to see what we can get away with tonight. Okay. Okay. So let's go find that color. Whoa. That's a super bad sign. Did I just not put the cap on that? I didn't screw the cap down. Hella blau. It's called something blue. I don't know. But this is Vallejo Model Air. And this is going to go on Mr. White here. And it's just, you can see it's a real soft, cool white. And now my cat's decided he wants to leave. Because why not? Why not do that in the middle of Daddy's airbrush session? What else could go wrong right now? Okay. Hold on. We'll let this cat out real quick. I'm sure we'll hear the cat come crying back later. Okay. And so we're just going to switch a bunch of, like, just back and forth with a bunch of colors. So, you know, if this is kind of a boring stream, but yeah. Some of the colors are common, some of them aren't. So we got that down. Let's try to go with another light color. I need to do the basically the light undertone Panda Man. And I need that, I think it's called Aged White. Yeah, here we go. So I need Aged White. Not Aged White. I have to say it like the fancy way, which would be Aged White. I don't really have an explanation. I just prefer to say it that way. I don't know. So Aged White. And we're just gonna spray some of this for Panda Man, right? So here's Panda Man. And this is going to allow me just to color block. Whoa, a little too much there. Whoa. Whoa, getting a lot of spitting. Jeez. Aged White is not behaving well. Kind of a bummer. All right, mental note. Don't use Aged White without thinning it. It's really spit happy color. Do I need to use Aged White on any of these other minis? I'm going to vote no because that did not do me any favors. And then I got a bunch of browns I have to spray. Well, first I got a couple of blues. And both of the blues are for Captain Boomerang. Wow. Yeah, that Aged White did not do me any favors. Like I probably got a skin in the airbrush. So that's pretty normal. Hey, what's up, Holla Gata? All right. Yeah. So Aged White sucks. Let's do a couple of blues. That's a good blue. Magic blue. And then I want, where's that? Like, there should be like an intermediate blue or something along those lines. What's this? This is a good Mediterranean blue. So those are going to be his pants. This is going to be the main shirt for Captain Boomerang. Oh, and I'm getting extremely low on this particular bottle of airbrush thinner, but I did something that very few gamers do, and that's called plan ahead. I'm just kidding. Gamers actually plan ahead quite a bit. They just don't plan ahead when it comes to use of their time. I've noticed that. You know what I mean? If you're talking about the, you know, what list they want to run the next time they're playing 40K or something like that, then gamers will have 5, 6, 7 lists, right? They want to plan ahead there. But if you want to tell them like, what time are we starting on Thursday, and how are we getting there, and who's driving who? Not the most reliable group of people to be doing that with. I'm just saying. Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead. Get angry. If you want to get offended by my rather candid remark about gamers, then get offended, I guess. I don't know. Let's see. I haven't fallen off my time management. I haven't get any painting done in about a week. Yeah, I mean, granted, I myself have my production overall is down, but I would say in the past month, it's been about what my high production stride looks like, and a lot of that has to do with just commission work. You know, when the work's here and you're painting for somebody else, like, you'll make the time to paint because you're getting paid for it. Wow, I think I just sprung another. Getting a lot of clogs tonight. I'm gonna have to take this bad boy apart and clean it a little bit. This is gonna be annoying. Let me see if I can do it without too much damage or too much, not having to be too extensive about this. Let's see what I can get away with. And then if it's still clogging too much, we'll just pop this bad boy open and pull all the stupid skins out of it. Because I guarantee you that's what it is. Yeah, it should be spraying a lot faster than that. Looks like it picked up there at the end, but now I still have mess in here. So we got to do a little bit of cleanup. Let's pop this off. Thanks a lot, Captain Boomerang. So we're going to do this. Clean the needle. It also doesn't help that this needle has a bent tip, which you should. A lot of people just tell you to like give up at that point. If you have a needle with a bent tip, go get a new needle, which I don't disagree with. Go get a new needle, but I am lazy and hypocritical right now, so I will stick with my needle. What is going on with this cap? Is that some really dried paint in there? Looks like it. That's really messed up. Looks like I got a bunch of skin here in the cap. Let's clean the ferrule out. So you need that tiny little spanner here. All right. Airbrush sounds like it has a runny nose. It's got skin either at the ferrule, in the ferrule, or behind the ferrule. Woo! I get nervous when I'm flinging the ferrule around like that with these gloves and you're trying to grip something that small. But what you do, yeah, feel that there's like skins in here. So what I'm doing is I take the needle and kind of firmly push it against the wall of the ferrule, and you can see it. Actually, you can't see, but it is pushing gunk out. So there's a bunch of gunk trapped on the inside wall of the ferrule, and that's what's causing poor delivery. I mean, your needle, this is a 0.3 needle going through a 0.3 ferrule, so you should kind of have some understanding of how far your needle protrudes through the tip of the ferrule. And in this case, it's having a hard time getting out all the way out, which tells me it's hitting some blockage in there. So looks like I got stuff out. Okay, so you're going to do that. The other thing is sometimes you'll get gunk that happens here behind the ferrule. So you just take the back of the needle and you do the same thing. You run it through, and what you're trying to do is force skins out. There's usually a skin or something, or like a pile of it. Sometimes there's like a pile of solid that just develops back there. And that was pretty clean, actually. So I think most of my problem was here at the ferrule. There's stuff in the ferrule. I'm gonna put a little water in there to try to loosen it up. Sometimes it's like, especially like this airbrush, which I've basically beaten to death. Sometimes there's just layer upon layer of solid back there, and it hardens, and the needle keeps getting forced through it, so the needle is just reinforcing the wall as opposed to pushing it out. So you really, when you're doing this type of stuff, you want to make sure that the needle is actually contacting the inner wall of the ferrule. And if you are encountering any paint solid in there, that it's going to push it forward. All right, that's going to have to do. We'll see how well that does. And then if it's like, sometimes it's even deeper than that. Like sometimes it's even, what's going on here? Oh, the trigger popped out. I hope this did the trick. But yeah, that's really where most of the stuff gets stuck. And if you have a little bit of patience, you can clear it out. Okay, and I need the cap. Okay, now let's see how this bad boy does. We can get back to color blocking. I hate having to like shut the whole show down just to do a little bit of cleaning, but it's, I guess it's kind of good to see how that goes. It seems like it's okay. I think that helped. Oh yeah, it's a lot more force coming out of there now. Okay, good. All right, so let's continue with Mediterranean blue on the pants of Captain Boomerang. It kind of has like blue jean pants. And I think El Diablo does too, if I'm not mistaken. Pretty good, right? What PSI do you recommend for priming and base coating? Most people say 15 to 25 for basically everything. And you want to be more towards the 25 part for the priming part and the 15 for the base coating. I pretty much right now, I'm at 25 for basically everything. Okay, so we got a blue jean action there on El Diablo. It's actually not bad. Let me just, so I still have a few guys that, I'm just going to put a little extra blue here on Slipknot, just so he looks a little bit more interesting. There you go. And now let's start doing some browns, okay? So I got to do the brown, obviously, on Captain Boomerang's jacket. And those browns are also going to work for Killer Croc and for Goat Headman. So let's find some good browns. That's a really good dark brown. Let's get that. That's too red. That's a good brown, but it's too thick for airbrush. I could thin it. That's just a good color for Killer Croc. Oh shoot, I forgot. I need that blue back in there because I got to do Joker's pants. He has kind of jeans on. Jared Leto Joker. Here's a good purple for Jared Leto Joker's coat. Here's another good mud brown. And are there any other browns I want? Oh, it's a good dark yellow. These are good colors for Killer Croc. Okay. Okay. In fact, let's do a little Killer Croc right now. Blue. So I'm going to do this color, Dunkelgelb. Or if you want to be a dick about it, dark yellow. I don't know why you have to be a dick to say that, but just talking mess. All right. We're just going to give Mr. Killer Croc. Whoa, we still have a lot of blue in this airbrush. Right? Let's do a little bit of the goat head guy here. Just a little bit, not too much. A little bit around the horns here. That's good enough. And I don't know. Maybe Diablo's shirt. Your shirt a little bit of a yellowish tone to it. No yellow here on the flames. There we go. All right. Now let's do more Captain Boomerang. Let's do his jacket. The Captain Boomerang's jacket is kind of a darker brown, so we'll use this camo medium brown. This looks about right. I like how everything just sort of looks about right. That's how I go, man. That's how I do my thing. All right. So we're just going to block the jacket. I guess some people mask when they're doing this part. I'm way too lazy for that. We rely on some combination of luck and skill. Mostly luck. Cool, right? You can see he's color blocked. Let's do a little brown on Goat's Head Dude. Whoa. Right? Okay. Give Killer Croc some brown shoes. For that matter, a couple other guys need brown shoes. He needs brown shoes. Right. Diablo doesn't need brown shoes. Maybe Eyeball Man needs brown shoes. Yeah, Eyeball Man does need brown shoes. Okay. Anybody else need brown? Me. Not really. Just do Joker's staff, because why not? Okay. Let's do Killer Croc's jacket next. Killer Croc has kind of like it's like a sienna color, almost like an orange color jacket, which I think is quite ugly. We're gonna use this mud brown, which actually is a little bit of like an orange or sienna color to it. Actually, before I do that, no, wait, no, that's right. That's actually the inside part for this dude. Got a little bit of a clog working. Yeah, Killer Croc, not the most palette. It's okay. Okay. And I actually want to give Goat's Head Man kind of a once-over with this same color. Okay. All right. We're going to be able to turn the airbrush off here pretty soon. Just doing a little more color blocking. So we got that color. I got a skin back here. Yeah. That brown definitely had a skin in the middle of it. Okay. So now I need to get the rest of Killer Croc's outfit. which is going to be, actually, yeah, we're going to give it this green brown. I think that's how it goes. And if it's not, I really don't care. Because this is Killer Croc, and he has, like, his whole color palette is kind of like this reddish orange brown. So if it doesn't work, it doesn't work. It's not, I really, not all that concerned. It's Killer Croc, people. Right? I don't lose critical acclaim because I got the colors on Killer Croc wrong. But you guys can be the judge of that. Yeah, this is too yellow anyway. It's all right. It's wrong. That's the wrong color. But I'm going to use some of that on Goat's head here. Okay. All right. There's a skin back there. There it goes. All right. Yep. Whoa. Hold on. Had a pin pop out on my quick disconnect. 1 second. Where'd that pin go? Here it is. You know, this is normally the easiest part of the process, but we keep running into some technical difficulties. But that's fine. It's kind of good, actually. It's almost like I feel like I'm running a little bit of a clinic here on how to fix these problems super fast. Hey, what's up, Blade Wolf? Welcome to the feed. Just doing a little color blocking on this Suicide Squad set. Okay, so now let's get a little bit of the blue back. Actually, that's pretty good. I thought I had another brown, like another good airbrush brown somewhere in here. Wrong airbrush brown. What's that? A rust color? Actually, Killer Croc would look kind of cool with a little more of a rust color on the jacket. Let's do it. Let's just do it. So who bought the Court of Owls? Actually, it's really embarrassing because it sold for a song. Like, it sold stupidly cheap, 21 bucks. And all my friends were mad because they're like, I didn't know it was going to sell for that low. And I'm like, well, you should have bid on it. I told people. But yeah, it sold stupidly low. And in fact, I'm pretty sure it was bought by a shop. It was called Candy's Miniatures or something like that. So they're just going to turn around and sell it for more. So they're gonna make a little profit off of that Court of Owls, where I did not make a profit on that. Like, I took a loss there, which is a little bit of a bummer, but that's okay. You know, it happens. It's part of the risk. I could have tried to just sell it locally, but I was like, probably make more put it on eBay, because locally, you know, you get all these people that say, oh yeah, I'm totally going to buy it off you my next paycheck or whatever, and then they don't. So, okay. See, that looks a little bit better, right? In fact, no, that's fine. Anybody else need this color? No, nobody else needs this color. So now we can move on to Joker. So we're going to give Joker some blue jeans and a purple jacket. And then we can get on maybe move on to a little bit of painting. Let's see. I only found out about when you mentioned you were selling it in your vid. Yeah, that's because you don't follow me on my other social media. All right. Anyway, all right. So Mr. Joker here, gonna get some blue jeans. Anybody else in the Suicide Squad rocking these blue jeans? I don't think so. So it's just a little bit of I don't even know if those are blue jeans or if he's just wearing like, is he wearing like sweats or something? I forget. How's your blue jeans looking? Your blue jeans look okay. Well, here. There we go. My loss. Guys. I mean, it did actually cross my mind, like, what if I sold it locally for, you know, 50, 60 bucks? Then it would have been cool. Then it's win-win because, you know, you sell it for low, somebody gets a cheap crew, and then we get another local person gaming with us. So yeah. So I screwed up. You screwed up. It's okay. Happens. All right. So now we're going to do these purple. Boop. I don't social media at all. Yeah. Well, I don't know. Social media is a mixed bag. For me, it's nice because, you know, I can do my video stuff. People can tune in, that kind of thing. So social media is good, but then it's also kind of bad because people know about your life, you know? I get worried about social media mainly because of my work. Like, the people at my work that know more about me than I prefer them to know because they saw it on my social media. Or they, you know, or maybe they saw it on my wife's social media. Oh man, I screwed up with the airbrush. Oh well. Not a big deal. Yeah, see, I got a little bit of purple on the blue. Let me see if I can fix that real quick. Let's just fix that real fast. Well, it's all good. Yeah, Sean, I'm going to play some, get you up here to play some Batman with us. Be awesome. Okay. Let's fix the jeans. Like, this is really just a little squirt here. A little. There we go. Just a little. If I had that $300 Infinity CR Plus to paint my name in there. All right. What type of purple is that? This is Vallejo Game Color Extra Opaque Heavy Violet, and then I just thin it down with Vallejo Airbrush Thinner. I'm like a commercial for Vallejo. Although I've been switching over to a lot of Reaper stuff. Because I've been impressed with the, been impressed with the latest Reaper stuff. Look at that. It's pretty good. Whoa. My desk is so cluttered. It's impossible to. Okay. Let's do a little white. So we're going to do some Game Air Dead White. Looking for a purple close to that for one of my Super Dungeon minis. It's a fantastic purple if you can find it. What was it called? Heavy Violet? Heavy Violet. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit of white in here. This is mostly for Panda Man and a little bit for Mr. Grin White. Right, because I'm going to just going to give Mr. Panda Man here. That's good, I think. I need actually need a little bit of a dark color there to do his ears. All right, and then we'll just, this dude will just get a super quick zap here. Look at that, and it's like he's done. Mr. Grin White, yes, basically done. All right. And finally, I'm gonna do just a little bit of like a charcoal color. Like I need black, gray, or charcoal. Oof, weird. Black, gray, or charcoal? Someone step up. One of those two colors. You could do dark sea gray, but I got that over at Brookhurst, and the thing is basically like rocks. Like every time I put a color like that through my airbrush, it's bad. Even like no matter how hard you thin it. Okay, about ready to throw in the towel here and just go with a little model color black gray. Let's just do that. I mean, I suppose I could also, if I needed to, I could also color block Joker's hair, but it's not that important. Whoa. And then I'll show you what sort of treachery I resort to when we're painting models like this super fast. There we go. So just a little. This my Panda Man has this weird chip on his ear. Okay. And then I'm actually going to do Mr. Eyeball's weird converted weapon here. So in case you don't know the story, I painted my set of Suicide Squad box and bought it off me, and he traded me part of the buy. He traded me his set of unopened Suicide Squad minis, which is normally fine, but when in this case they forgot to pack in Eyeball Man's arms, and so instead of waiting for Night Models to send me another one, I just did a quick conversion. And okay, I'm looking pretty good. I'm just going to do a little Mr. Grin Black. I'm just going to do a little bit of additional black on him, so he's a little more convincing. Okay. Looks pretty good. Yeah, I'm pretty happy with it. Oh, let's give Deadshot. Let's give Willshot a little bit. And this black. Because his armor plates are blacker. Okay, so there's Willshot. Okay, I think I'm done with airbrush, right? Oh, boomerang. Whoa. Okay, now I'm done. What color fell? And we can start the business of painting these things. Okay. Anyone have any questions or anything while we're doing this? Okay. Oh, well, it's fine. All right. So there's that. Turn that off. Then we're going to prepare to do what I call the mother of all dry brushes. All right. So whoop, everybody back up. Boop, boop. Okay. It's kind of weird. Well, it's not weird for me. Batch painting 10 models is not something. 11. Batch painting 11 models isn't something I recommend people do. I'm going to give them a little bit of a rest here before I continue on with the rest of the technique. Okay. Okay, remember to buy more glue. Wet palette. Now I need a reliable white. So we're going to go with Dragon White. And I need a good dry brush. That's an okay dry brush. I have like a big hunker dry brush I haven't tried yet. I wonder if I want to try it. Nah. This is about as big as I want to go for these. I just want to make sure that the brush itself is nice and clean and open. So I rely on these pretty heavily. I may actually need to go buy a new one. They're only 99 cents, so it's a nice part. Just go to Big Lots and go to the makeup section and find a brush like that. And when you bring it home, clean it through several times to get all the loose bristles out of it. And then once you do that, it's pretty good. All right. So now we're going to do white. I'm going to throw a little bit of water in, even though you don't have to do that. I like it better because it just helps it flow a little bit. So you load the brush like that, then wipe it all off. Like if you see that, not clean enough, keep going. Gotta be super clean. Try to get it off there. All right. That came out wrong. It came out of my mouth wrong. I don't know. So you should be able to do that. And you can see, like you can still see the wrinkles on my palm, right? That's exactly what we want. So now take that and take your minis and just give them a once over. And if you need more, do more. But you shouldn't need to do more for most of these. You don't want it to be too drastic. Okay. That. Now, Panda. Panda, you're just looking for hard edges, really. Because Panda is he's actually pretty damn well. So you do that. Right? Do eyeball. Eyeball man. Same thing. Just go for edges. And you don't need to do much more. There you go. And Deadshot, he's a fairly dark miniature, so you actually don't want to do too much on him. But you want to do enough to where you have these like hard little white outlines on the armor plates and stuff, individual plates and stuff like that. You see that coming in? See some of that detail popping through. That's what you want. What you don't want is you don't want it to look like a total ghost outline of the miniature. And you don't want you don't want these brush strokes to look like hairy or textured. All right, there you go. And then especially a miniature like this guy, Mr. Grin Black. I go very sparing here. Like for him, in fact, like be super specific for where you're gonna put these. Like see the bottom of the coat there, the crease lines on the pants. I'm not just gonna indiscriminately do it for him. I want the white to hit very specific edges. And obviously you want to hit the grin too. It's fairly important. See that? Someone messaging me? Okay. But you'll get the point of this in a minute. Okay. Then Mr. White, you can be quite a bit more indiscriminate because you want the white to really pop on this guy. And we'll add shade at specific spots for him. Okay. Looks like nothing on camera. I do know that. For Diablo, you want a lot on the shirt. He has like his shirt's kind of white. You don't want any on the flame, really. But the shirt, the long sleeve undershirt specifically, you want a lot of white on there. And you don't need much white on the rest of the model. Pretty good. 2 more to go. Slipknot. Actually out of paint. Let's dry brush. Whoa. And again, the softer you do this, the better the technique is. That was like way too much paint. Like even, you do this 1,000 times, you're still going to be like not entirely sure when to stop removing the paint from your brush. That was way too much though, to give you an idea. That was way too much white paint left on there. We'll fix that. Killer Croc. Okay, there's that. And then finally, do a little Heath Ledger Joker. There's still way too much white on here. So I'm going to pull even more of it off. Okay, so there's like almost nothing. There we go. Okay, right. Cool, so far so good. So right now, I'm going to finish Mr. Grimm Black. Because he has almost no paint scheme to him. Oh, that was that brown I was looking for. Oh, well. All right. So I'm going to take a little white, paint the white of the tie-in. So if I want some color in there, I can sneak some red in there, which I will in a minute. first. I'm going to paint in, oh, shoot. Let's do some eyes on some of these dudes. So, Killer Croc. All right. Who else needs eyes? Jared Leto needs eyes. If you're just joining us, welcome to Play It Painted Live. Let us know what you're painting, what you should be painting. Tonight's task is the Suicide Squad 2-player starter kit. Mind you, I've already painted Batfleck and the two ladies, so Katana and Harley Quinn. So if you're tuning in hoping to see one of those ladies or Katana, haha, get it? One of those ladies, or oh, never mind. Then yeah, sorry, those guys are already done. Welcome back. Okay, and Mr. Slipknot. So we're just going to paint in all of the necessary eyeballs. I think Panda Man and Eyeball Man are going to have their own separate eyeball painting session. But all these dudes are going to get painted eyeballs. Yeah, it looks like his eyeballs are already in. Oh, weird. Maybe Captain Boomerang. Maybe he already did this. Who knows? And then we got Will Smith. Woo! Welcome to Earth. Woo! I don't know. Just always do that. Hey, feel free to judge me. I don't care. That's Will Smith. I will always do that. Stupid. Woo. For him. Go Ted guy. Whoop. Oh, I need to see what the eyes on the panda look like. They're kind of black, then blue, then black again. So this outline here should be black. Whoa. How important in building a crew is having half shooting in melee? I don't know if you want to break it out to half and half, because in my experience, if you have that much shooting in a crew, then you're banking on doing extremely well in the early parts of the game, and you're hoping nobody can really sneak into your gun line. And I'm not so sure that that's the best course of action. So in my opinion, you want to have, obviously you want to have models that can do one or the other, or, you know, in the rare exception, both. Like, those aren't bad things to want, but I would almost say it's probably more important to have, you know, 2 or 3 good members for each function. So like probably 2 ranged 2 ranged attackers would be good, and then maybe 2 to 3 melee. And in fact, on the melee front, you probably want more like 4. You know, if you're going to go 8-man crew, you normally want 4. I'm normally running like a 4 or 5-man team, so I can't even afford to do that. I would, like, for me, I like to have at the most 2 really good ranged options. And when I say that, I mean firearms or mechanical bows, things that and characters that are good at using those 2 items. But like I don't see a reason to put more than that in a standard crew. Because you want objective runners, you want control pieces, you want specialists and leader type characters and all that good stuff. So if anything, lean more towards melee is what I'm saying. But well, I don't know. Gunlands, like this Joker crew is kind of shifted more towards let's see, 1, 2, 3. There are 3 good, firearm ranged options in this Joker crew. So you figure if that's what you got coming out of the gate, you're going to want to kill and in the first turn if you can, if your opponent does a dumb thing and overextends or just leaves himself out to dry, you now have 3 guys that can bear down with ranged attacks and firearms that should be able to end, whoever did that. But then you got to be prepared in the late rounds or in the middle rounds of either getting jumped in melee, which is highly likely, or just flat out running out of ammo and being somewhat useless for the rest of the game, or even being a VP liability if you're a henchman or whatever. Like if he ran out of ammo, and it's like, well, it's not even worth trying to send him to the other side of the board to collect ammo. I would rather send, Harley Quinn over there because her pistol, even though she only has a pistol, she is more likely to survive the entire match. And you want those points for controlling the ammo to begin with. And sending, Goat Headman out there, send Harley to do it, and have her cap a couple of people with the with their handgun along the way. I'm like really off frame here. You guys should be down here. This is where I'm actually painting. Checking in from Sweden. What is your strategy for painting eyes on minis? Oh, well, I'm actually doing that right now. Let me see if I can actually zoom in. Welcome to the feed, Wayne. Let's see. Let's see if I can get the webcam to come in a little bit. There we go. And let's, whoop. Nice. How close is that? Is that good? That looks pretty good to me. Now I'm like trying to find where is this actually pointing. Okay, so I'd have to do it there. Okay. Let's see if that keeps it. So we're in tight right now doing the eyes. So it's essentially I paint them in either black, gray, or dark brown. Then I paint the white like across the eye. Like I paint them as dashes across the eye, and then I come back in and I dot the pupil in as a vertical slash, right? Let's see if we can. Willshot here has super tiny eyes, so a lot of people with these night model eyes won't paint the eyes in. They'll just do a little bit of brown wash in there, and it's great. It looks fine doing that. You'll never actually, like, no one's ever actually going to stare at this miniature long enough to try to make out the detail of the eye of it. Some of the other guys that watch this feed tell you it's going to bother me to know that this character doesn't have a reasonable representation of eyes. So then I would believe that the model has no soul, and then that becomes a whole thing. Anyway. Oops. So El Diablo, here's a model who has eyes are actually fairly prominent on this model. You can see I'm just right. I don't know if you can see that or not, but there's the whites of the eyes in, and then finally Captain Boomerang. Just gonna make sure those are the right size. So again, when I'm doing the whites of the eyes, I'm painting this way across. And then when I paint the pupils in, I paint this way. Or a lot of times I just come in and dot it, which is what I will do here. See if we can even make out the eyes there. Not really. Okay. It's also a lot easier if you're just doing one eye, like Willshot only has one eye visible. It's way easier to just dot the eye wherever. Trying to find a good example for you to see. I'm going to Slipknot. Okay. And I know this is really exciting, folks. Let's do Jared Leto. Ooh. Sometimes you just see a little bit of gunk on the end of your brush and you're like, I don't want that. And then sometimes you gotta dot the I in twice to get it to show up correctly. I don't think you could make that out, but it'll show up on the photo. Did El Diablo, right? No, we didn't do his pupils yet. There we go. And then we'll do goat head. There we go. And then finally Killer Croc. I didn't even do the whites, did I? Oops. I don't know why, but like either the shape of the Killer Croc's head or his pose or whatever, he just reminds me of Mike Tyson for some reason. This version of Killer Croc reminds me of like if Mike Tyson and the Lizard had a child. That's what it would look like. Found Bane's Crew cheap on Amazon. Damn it, I need a Bane Crew. Is there more than one left? Because I need to get one. I don't want to start a Bane Crew. I just need that Bane for my Secret 6. There we go. That is very true. Okay. Everybody has eyes now, I think. Jared Leto Joker doesn't, his eyes aren't great. Looks like he's looking off to the side and just being sad about life. Says 6 left in stock. Nice. What was the price, if you don't mind me asking? And is it Prime? Because I will order one live. I don't care. All right. So let me show you what, oh wait. Let's give Mr. Black a red tie. Just real quick. Gotta have the power tie. Actually needs a little bit of additional white on his mask. There. So here's the red power tie. $30, but no Prime. Okay, I'll figure it out. All right. So now I'm going to show you what this whole like toning down technique is, right? So, oh, I'm gonna need to move this up to there. There we go. Okay, so color blocking, you can see there's a very light dry brush on him, and now he looks okay. He just needs to be shaded, right? And there's two ways you can do this. One of the easiest ways, if you don't like mixing stuff and hoping you're right, is go out and get, and I never thought you'd hear me say this, but let me, go out and get the gloss Citadel shades. They're awesome. I thought they were stupid. These are awesome. Like, go out and get them, check them out. They're cool, and that should work out great. I don't want to use that, though. I would prefer to make my own ink glaze, and the reason why is I'm not just trying to be fancy. You get so much more control, and I'll show you here what I'm talking about the minute I find my inks. Damn this show. Okay. Hey, look, that was a green I was looking for like 2 days ago. So I need a couple of inks specifically. Okay. That's not one of them, but I will need that ink at some point, so I'm going to bring it out. There's one of the inks I need. And where's the other one? There it is. Okay. So, so here's what we're going to do. We're not going to add any water to this. We're going to go some glaze medium. I don't know, let's call it 8 drops of glaze medium. And we're going to give him just a super faint blue tinge, but it's going to be like a midnight blue tinge. So I'm going to add 2 drops of blue ink. 2, actually maybe even 3. Let's do 3. And a single drop of black ink. Okay. And what this is going to do is this going to make a shade similar to, say, your like Drakenhof Nightshade, but better. Okay. I maintain that this is better than using a Citadel wash because it's in glaze medium and it's an ink. So you get the best of both worlds. Glaze medium is great for really thinning things down and for allowing like a semi-transparent type finish. Whereas the ink will give you a super, super powerful shade to it. Okay, so the idea here is that this guy here will have kind of a blue tinge to him, but he'll look black. Okay, so I'm going to take this. You can see it looks super blue right there. And you don't put much on at all. Like, you take that single drop you put on there and keep moving it. Like, move it down the whole model if you need to. We're not going to do it over the knife, okay? Because we don't want the knife to have this like blue tinge. We want the knife to have a different finish to it because we're trying to convey steel there. All right, so that's as far as you go with like 1 drop of this, essentially 1 brush load. Take the next brush load, push it all the way down, and do everything you can so that this does not pool. You do not want this stuff to pool. because you're creating a tinge, you're creating a tint. And you're glazing the entire model. So the model, the finished result is the model will have a slight sheen to it. And you can do this, again, if you're not going to do this kind of mixture stuff with the glaze medium and all that stuff, you can either work with ink that is washed with, thinned down with a lot of water, or, or take your chances on the Citadel glazes and washes. Okay. The one downside to this is this does take a significant amount of time to dry. But you can see what it's done already, is it's given it a blue tinge, and then if I want, I can come back and give it a, tint it black again and give it a more black tint. But on camera, it looks super blue. I get that, but what's going to happen is when this dries, the black gray will show through and it will look more black. Okay, for the knife, you could also just do another good and fairly reliable shortcut. If you don't want to mess with that, like on the knife, for example, I'm just going to take some Armor Wash, P3 Armor Wash, and normally I would make a black glaze for the piece, but I don't need to. If it's just a knife and it's that small. Actually, I need to make a black glaze for all the other weapons anyway, so there's that. Okay, he's basically done, right? Honestly, the only thing that I might want to do here is give him a couple of really sharp line highlights on the teeth. And then if he dries and I think he's too blue, then I'll come back and actually hit him. I'll add another drop or two of black ink to that glaze mix, and then apply that. I might actually do it just to show you what it does, like what subsequent treatments do. Because this is a really cool technique, I think. If you're working on, stuff like this that has somewhat intricate detail to it, but it's like you're never going to have time to pick it all off. It's just going to take hours or whatever. And then you get this part of it, which is having trouble containing all the white. Okay. So let him dry. Okay. So now with this guy, Mr. Grin White, obviously we don't want to put a black blue glaze down. It's going to be too overpowering. And lose its effectiveness as being the white counterpart to Mr. Grin Black. Like, right, you still want him to look white. So we're going to make a special glaze for this guy. And I'm leaving him like this white because because the glaze will stuff. So the glaze should actually be this color, this Mediterranean blue. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with the ink, but this time we're just going to do the glaze. Wondering maybe, no, that's maybe more of a blue-green color. Wait, I just made a mistake. I put primer down. Oops. We don't want to do that. Okay, let's go back with the glaze. I'll do a couple of drops of this Hellblau. Whoa. And then a couple of drops of this Mediterranean blue. All right, and this is going to make kind of like almost like a surgical blue glaze. Okay, and all I'm going to do, hey, what's up, Tori? Then all I'm going to do now is I'm going to take this glaze and I'm going to very lightly apply it around the shadows of the model. Okay. And what you want to do is drag it into the shade. If you want to feather it out, take a little water, just dampen your brush and spread it out to feather it out. Okay. So I want this, I want the outline of the lapel to show, right? So I'm going to brush it here. So you can see it showing up there, right? And I'll run the rest of it here. Now here's where glazes get really good, right? Because so far all you've really seen is me using a glaze as essentially just a thinning medium, without really exploiting what it is that the glaze does that makes it so good. So here's that, right? And if this model is going to be white, that's way too much shade. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take a damp brush and I'm just going to run the brush over the model as if I were doing highlights. And all that's going to do with a semi-damp brush is it's going to pull that glaze away from the raised areas, while leaving everything still fairly well blended. So let me show you right? And what that allows you to do is these really, really cool, like subtle shading effects. So you seeing that? And then you can go back, which I will here in a second. Let's do the whole model first, because I really want that. And that white dry brush, see how it still has that white edge to it? It's so nice. That white dry brush, it gets softened by the glaze and it stands up to it. So you still have an edge highlight in there. It's just softer now that you've applied a glaze to it. It looks better. It's more subtle. Never thought of this idea. I'm seeing a lot more people discuss glazing and you know, how convenient glazing makes everything. I'm just going to hit the rest of the model. So I put you can see I'm putting way too much glaze on this model, like way too much. And this is just going to shade the model. Okay. Then you take a damp brush and run it down like you're highlighting. And you can see, for example, see the white coming back on the top of the pants there. It's looking pretty good. You'll see people touting the the benefits of glazing, usually when they're talking about doing skin tones. Modern people that are doing um, the like really multicolor complex tones where they start mixing purples in and greens and all that stuff to get a really, really hyper realistic skin tone, they use a lot of glazes. Okay, so see, never used inks before. So how did bats turn out? I think bats turned out cool, I hope. I did a video of it and I need to edit it. I don't even know if it looks good though, if I'm being honest with you. I don't know. Okay, so there's that. So now let's take the glaze and make a white glaze. And the reason why I would make another glaze as opposed to just putting white on there is for the same reason. I'm gonna make it a super, super thin highlight. And we're just gonna get very specific points. Okay. And if you and again, the point of doing the glazing is to make sure that you're still super, super light when you apply it. Actually, the first layer glaze is still drying. Like, let me show you what I'm going to do here. So see how I kind of picked this shoulder here? So I'm going to do a more extreme lighting effect on that shoulder by applying the white glaze to it and then softening it up. Let me do it along the back so you can see. I don't know if you guys are able to make out that difference. It's super subtle, but that's the idea, really. So you can use glazes as highlights. You can use them as undertones. And then, like in my case, I use them as super specialized washes. Give me like a crazy amount of control over what I'm doing. And if you screw up, it's so easy to fix. I know this Mr. Grin's supposed to have black teeth, but I'm just giving him white teeth. I think it looks cooler. And I'll paint the middle area there black. Just to there you go, see? I think it looks cooler that way. Mr. Teeth looks awesome. Thanks. Right? But like there's like nothing on this miniature. It's weird. It's just sprayed and then a couple of washes and a highlight. And that's all I really want to do on him. But I love that once you really learn how to manipulate the liquid, it just becomes so easy to get those like really nice blends and stuff that you see other people doing. It takes a long time to do. If you do it the traditional way, it takes a really longer time to do than using a glaze and dragging that glaze to exactly where you want. I guess in a way it's similar to your standard blending techniques, or some people use they'll do two brush blending, which is apply the paint on and then feather it out with a second damp brush. Well, if you used a glaze for two brush blending, you would have super ultimate control. Anyways, so there's that guy. So those the two guys, at least, so we're gonna finish two before the night's over. Let me show you this with Mr. Slipknot here again. Okay, so again, well, hold on. Let's give him some skin, at least so you can like reference. That's pretty good. Yeah, let's give these guys some skin. And then you can really see what this technique looks like. This is kind of the final step in painting the eyes too, is that I do them the way I do eyes. A lot of people would consider backwards, because I paint the eye in first, and then I come in with the essentially the shadow tone of the skin color, and I shape the eye using that paint. So you can see I'm using this to shape Slipknot's eyes. This is for Wayne, who was asking about specific advice on how to paint eyes. This is just how I do it. I've heard some cool stuff too. Like some people, they paint the whole eye in black, and then they just do two white dots instead of a single black dot down the middle. And according to them, it's an easier thing to do once you master that, because then you don't have to. Then you have the best control regarding the center placement of the pupils. So I would love to learn how to do that and decide for myself if that would be worth switching my method over to. It seems like the way I do this is kind of grants you a similar advantage though, right? Because in my opinion, it's easier to kind of cut a shape around than it would be to just, like, I see guys that paint like all the face in, they paint all the highlights in, all the detail in, and then they put the eyes in last. And I'm like, man, I could never do that, because at the end I'm gonna screw up, and I'm gonna screw that up, and all that hard work I spent making the model look nice is just gonna look awful. Does this guy have a bare arm there, or what's the deal? Stuff to put together the rest of the Suicide Squad. What is the deal? No, he just has black. There's like black sleeves. So he's a couple. He doesn't have that much skin showing. All right. Okay. think you still kind of need that down there. Let's just paint in, since we got that skin color out. We can do Captain Boomerang's face, or at least get the skin undertone down. Dallas from P3 said to do small vertical black lines for the eyes. Yeah, that's what I'm currently doing. I do a small vertical black line, but I do, you know, obviously I do the horizontal white line and the horizontal. I start off with a horizontal dark line. Then I do a smaller horizontal white line in the middle of that, then a vertical line to do the eye. One of the things I really like about painting is that there really ultimately is no right answer other than, you know, whatever is going to make you happy with your miniature, that's what you should do, painting wise. Really kind of looking forward to seeing what Suicide Squad can do here. I played against them last night. I was playing a Birds of Prey list, and it was kind of a weird Suicide Squad build. It had Rick Flag, which was awesome. Rick Flag, Harley Quinn. He took Joker's daughter, Katana, and Diablo. Right? And I didn't understand the build, but it did, like, he was able to do some really brutal stuff with Katana and Harley Quinn, and then eventually Rick Flag was able to get into the game. And he put, you know, he killed my boss. I was running Black Canary as the boss. So they killed Black Canary. They had beaten Poison Ivy to within an inch of her life. But I won that game in a huge way because, I don't know, my opponent was not, he just does not care about like objectives, and camping on objectives is kind of boring. And I'm going to agree with him. Camping on objectives is boring, but you know, if you are trying to win a game, you're going to have to do stuff like that. Like, you're going to have to understand that, yeah, Harley Quinn is a super fun character that you want to play, and you want to bash people's skulls in with her baseball bat and shoot them. You're going to have to understand that that's, you know, it just depends on the nature of the game, the opponent's crews, and how you want to piece together your win. The last time I played Secret Six, I had Harley Quinn. I had the Suicide Squad Harley Quinn out there, and you know, in my opinion, and I heard her talked about this, that she's not worth her points, right? Because she doesn't really do anything particularly well. You ultimately just paying for that, for her ability to, you know, program on the fly and even go above like her normal counter mounts for things like moving and attacking and defending and all that kind of stuff, right? So she ends up being a very tactical play style, which is cool. But you know, people will argue, well, she's not actually particularly good at anything, so I'd rather have this Harley if it came down to, because I know what she does, and I know I'm just not ever going to be in frame. Sorry, guys. Yeah, so I can see why people say she's overcosted. She doesn't do her job because she doesn't really have a job on the squad. But I think she really is the wild card. And you take her because she's, in my opinion, she may not be specialized, but she is specifically who you might take when you need something like that on the fly. So again, perfect example with Secret Six, playing the game. I wanted to do cool stuff with Harley Quinn, but what I needed ultimately, because I had Catman in there for tracking down clues and getting embroiled in combats and that kind of stuff, and I had Demon Mike. I had him in there to really kind of mix it up and play tank, and I had Deadshot in there to be the sniper, which he failed absolutely miserably. But my point is, I had all of these, everybody kind of had their role. Harley didn't have a role. So once the game began, I was like, oh, I've got this covered and this covered and this covered. But I don't have anybody doing this, right? And that's what I did with Harley Quinn, and it was boring playing her because I had to limit her to that kind of a crappy role, but I don't know. It worked out. Still won by a lot of points, and she scored a lot of the points by not doing anything, by just kind of parking on that objective. Do you think it's kind of weird that I paint in Joker's like regular skin tone and then I'll bleach it out? I did that with Harley too. I don't know. I don't know if it helps or not, but it helps me kind of process what's going on. It's a really good sculpt, but I don't know. It just reminds me of he's like a Hot Topic Ken doll for some reason to me. Let's see. So for the most part, I want to play with Lobo, but I want the right character who would actually need Lobo to do something for them. Probable Cause makes sense to me. I wish he was there when you played that game. Yeah, Tori was there. He watched that game. I don't really know enough about Lobo to know. I know he's a 130 point free agent, which is crazy expensive, but he seemed to have super good stats. So I think, I don't know if this is true or not, but maybe you take Lobo as kind of like a Juggernaut style character to really get in and do the, to beat up, lots and lots of henchmen. But I don't know. I guess I'd have to look at his stats to tell you. Also, I'll probably get up early in the morning to do some more painting on these guys. Has like bare skin exposed. Well, Deadshot does, but he's got African skin, so we don't need to. I don't need this color for his skin. All right. So now let me show you this on Slipknot here, and I'm going to paint Slipknot's hair in real quick. Actually, I'm going to do a couple things on Slipknot. He's just a really dark color scheme, this dude. Okay. So he has weird hair. It's whatever. Oh. A little bit of overreach there. He's got hair plus now. He was too. Because I have my first game of Ace. Enjoy, dude. Have a good one. Thanks for tuning in. Okay. Yeah, I gotta fix his hair. He looks really stupid right now. Saying much because I think Slipknot is fairly stupid. Okay. So let's do a couple of things with this black. Let's paint in the straps of his like harness thing. Let's paint those in black. Let's paint some of his equipment in black. Just little details before we show you the wash technique. Now, a lot of times you would also do this before you did the dry brush, because you want the dry brush to hit this kind of stuff too. But at this point, it's not that important. Okay. And let's do his boots. No Slipknot. You'll see. His skin tone kind of sucks. So I'll do that. I'll do a second skin tone on him while I wait for the black to dry real fast. And I think you're supposed to, I think he has that black there. And then his glove black, like fingerless glove. So that's black, that's black. Okay. Let's do a quick highlight on his skin. Not that. So we're gonna do tanned highlight. Not is played by a Native American actor in the movie. So I'm gonna keep his skin somewhat on the bronze side of the spectrum here. Tanned highlight, which is usually the base coat for most of my Caucasian skin, is just gonna serve as a top level highlight for this guy. Just to give his face a little bit of character to it. Okay, cool. All right, so now let's take that same glaze that we applied on Mr. Grim Black and let's apply it on Slipknot. And I'm going to be a little bit more liberal with it this time, because if it pulls in specific areas, just based on how this model is sculpted, it's really not a big deal. And you can see over the blue, it really brings the blue out, and over the black, it's a very subtle tone change. But yeah, this is like the speed painting, quick and dirty way to do that ink glazing technique I'm talking about. Right? And let's just actually now I have a little armor wash here. So I'll just do that on the gun. And yeah, honestly, he's basically done. You'll see when he dries, like he's to do there. I'm just gonna let that dude dry. Similarly, let's apply it on Captain Boomerang. Kind of bring out the blue there. And then I'm just going to come back and highlight the captain letters across his chest. Again, one of the main downsides to using this type of glazing is that it does take quite a bit longer for it to dry. So it's good to go. It's easy to come back and fix. Like I went pretty reckless right there. Like I dropped a lot of product down when it probably wasn't all that called for. Guy's played by an Australian actor. He's an Australian character because of Boomerang, but he is rather cool. Okay, so there we go, right? Go Captain Boomerang. He kind of has like dark hair. Let me paint his cap on. You can see how fast these guys start going though. Once you have things blocked out, you have a decent, like a halfway decent highlight down, you can go pretty fast. What's that cool brown that I had? I was like looking for 2 seconds ago. I guess Bane and Lobo would make sense. Yeah, they would. Team Swole Dudes. I just want to have all the options for Secret Six. Guy has a rad, like, handlebar mustache and a little facial hair there. Kind of awesome. And let's make like an umber glaze, right? So I'm gonna need brown or sepia ink. Me? No. I don't know why my phone made those noises. Okay. Very bruiser team, but it would do some damage. Yeah, it would. But that's, the thing about this game is it's an objective based game. So so while you can win that way, it's a lot harder than doing the objectives. So a little sepia and a little, like 1 drop of black. There we go. You see how quick this goes though? Like once you have what you want, it starts going super fast. That's why I need inmates with guns. Yep. Inmates are a great buy for any of the, like, you know, criminal teams that can take them. It's like too much product on there. I went too fast, but that's okay. So once I get the white down on that captain, this guy's basically done. All right. Let's see. Oh, man. Sometimes just trying to keep the liquid from spazzing out on you is the struggle. Yeah, that's still too wet. I'll put one coat of white down, and then you made your choices. What are your choices? Also, if you can come up to Orange County next Saturday, not tomorrow, but a week from tomorrow, I am doing paint day. And you can bring your Batman, and there's going to be people there that want to play Batman. So you can probably get in a game and or paint while you're up here. Just a thought. It's like, see all that stuff pulling at the bottom there? I'm going to wipe that out. It's too much product. But yeah, he's basically done. Black Mask or Bane, nice. Okay, let's make, I need black ink. Well, since we're on the umber ink, we can do this guy. Actually, I want to do some quick highlights on him. Like I want him to look lighter, at least on the goat skin part. Mm-hmm. It is a thought. Black Mask is awesome. I also thought of a Black Mask crew. Well, let's be real. I thought of, like, I wanted to own every crew. Okay. Let's do a quick and dirty wash on this guy. Kind of concentrated on the back of the head, not so much the front. So if I want the front to blend, just take a little water and like one little dip of that ink glaze. And you can see what it's doing. And then you just, it's so thin, it's got a different tension to it. And just drag it around. You see how it just kind of feathered out? that head. And then now you can do this. Because he gets it, my dad can, I don't know. What happened? What happened? Am I like that tired? It is a want if you like the characters. Yes, it's true. I don't quite know what I'm going to do with this Suicide Squad. I could sell it, or maybe break it out every once in a while. It's just not that interesting. These crews to me aren't that interesting. They're not interesting enough for me to want to do much with them. All right, Killer Croc. Oh wait, there's some stuff here on Killer Croc I want to highlight. Oh, it's midnight. We'll just paint a couple of other things real quick, and then I guess we'll call it. I just want, so Killer Croc's jacket has like this kind of gold patterning on it in spots. So I just want to get it before we wash the whole thing. Okay. I don't know what this says on the bottom. Can one of you guys tell me what it says on the bottom of Killer Croc's jacket? Curious. All right. You can see a bunch of this stuff is starting to get done quick now. The slow part is the fact that there are 11 of them. Like this stage of painting skin is a lost cause for Jared Leto Joker. Let me just skip over to the part where he's got the bleached skin. And make sure I do a good job on his jacket and all that good stuff. Maybe a little freehand here on his open stomach. His exposed stomach, not open. Good. Let's do Diablo. So Diablo is also Hispanic. So I'm going to keep his skin a hair darker than normal. Okay. Killer Croc's jacket has a dragon design on it. Yeah, but there's like a word embroidered along the bottom, the back and the bottom of the jacket, which I'm curious about. Let's get a little white on Diablo's shirt here. You can see how thin it is. It looks terrible going on, but it's going to blend. It'll lay down nicely once it's dry. Or this guy can like force, he can like, yeah, he can like force dry it. Probably look terrible. Okay, not bad. We still have to paint like all his makeup on and all that kind of good stuff. All right, meanwhile, let's go back to Killer Croc and wash him. I kind of want a bigger brush when I'm doing this. Yeah, let's do that. And then I'll continue painting these tomorrow. I'll shoot my day 7 video. Actually, this can count as my day 7 video. I'll just answer the question, you know, recap your progress for the week. Are you satisfied, or are you moving along your goal acceptably? Something like that, right? How are you doing on your goal, essentially, right? I did not have a goal for the July painting challenge other than to try to stay on top of commissions and paint more Batman stuff. And so far, I am doing quite swimmingly on those goals, right? Painted something like two crews and some extras in that first week of the challenge. And they were fun. Two-Face crew, and I did some stuff that would eventually be on a Batman / Teen Titans crew. So, okay. So technically, without counting basing, I have 1, 2, 3, 4. I have 5 of these done, which is awesome. And actually, arguably 6. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 done. So I still have another 5 to do. It says killer. Weekly wrap up. Did you achieve your goals for the week? Overall, how was this week at the challenge? Oh, it says killer on the back. Okay, cool. I don't know if you could make that out here. I'll have to come back and highlight it up. It's like still way too wet right now. But yeah, I mean, I would say we're tracking pretty well. This is normally how I do. Like in an average week under full production, this is my output. So doing pretty well there. Can't complain. Ooh, before we close this bad boy, let's get his jeans. Or whatever these are. Are these jeans or... Oh, I forgot to paint his feet with the skin color. So let me do that. So Joker looks pretty clean on your guys' screen. Pretty clean looking. What was the other location you wanted on the jacket? I think that's just it, really. Just curious. He has like I knew he had a dragon symbol on one part of the jacket, but... Okay. All right. So doing pretty well, I would say. You can paint the rest of this tomorrow, which would be nice because then that's essentially two crews that are total. Well, one team, one crew that are done that I can add to my repertoire, and then I can start to paint all the extras because I still have a ton of Batman to paint even after all this. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're pretty late in the evening, but yeah, overall pretty cool progress on these. Still have to do Panda, but like Panda, he's going to be done quick too, because all I have to do is just paint the eyeballs in, wash the gun, paint the straps of his backpack in, then he's done. And then again, I'm going to do the bases all at the same time. So they'll all be done, and then I'll come in and we'll paint all the bases in one shot. All right, so that's going to do it for this video. Glad you guys tuned in tonight. Thank you for sticking around. But yeah, things are looking pretty good. I'm pretty happy with how this set's coming out so far. It should be pretty fun once it's all done. All right, so have a good night, guys, and we will catch you on the next one. Good night.